Welcome everyone, Joe with ECRM here at our Vitamin, Weight Management and Sports Nutrition session in Florida. And with me is another Joe from Nutrition Smart. He's one of the buyers who's participating in the session. We're going to talk about some of the trends that he's been seeing, particularly around GLP-1s, that theme, which has been very popular at this session.
For sure.
And what's going on in his particular market. So thanks for joining us. And to start off, give everybody a little background on Nutrition Smart.
Sure. So we are a two-store chain in Florida, one in the Pembroke Pines area of Florida and one in the Wesley Chapel area. We are a natural grocer and vitamin store, primarily focused on vitamins and supplementation for our customers.
And what's your customer base like? What's the demo like?
Yeah, so we do skew a little older. We're in the 40s to 65 range, mostly women customers.
Okay.
And then probably the subcategory of people that shop a lot are people that go to the gym. So then we have like the millennials and those guys too.
Okay, and yeah, they're very big. I mean, especially that age group, they're very big listening to all these health and wellness podcasts and videos, and that's a big influence on their shops. And you know, there's two things there's one thing we're going to focus on, but I do have a question related to that.
Okay.
Because I do listen to a lot of those guys too, like Peter Attia, Andrew Huberman, you name it, Mark Hyman.
Right.
What kind of influence do they have on the way that group shops? Is it a big influence? Do they come in asking about things they hear on these?
100%. They'll actually bring screenshots of things.
Okay.
And they show me on their phone. Do you have this? I saw this on TikTok, or I heard this podcast. Do you have something like this for us?
Okay.
So it definitely drives that demographic to our stores for sure.
So do you think, I always thought that it would be very important for people at the store level to be familiar with these health and wellness influencers and podcasts, because you want to speak that language to understand when the consumer comes in like that with the TikToks.
For sure. So I try and follow all those guys and keep abreast of what they're talking about, what's new, what's trending, so I can maybe get ahead of it. Sometimes I'm not always able to get ahead of it, but we try.
Yeah, so there was like one brand here that I was like, wait a minute, I know you guys. You guys are on all the podcasts.
Right.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, we're the ones. We're on all of those ones I just mentioned.
Right.
So,
and with meeting people today, that's been part of the discussion with each brand. They're telling us, how many TikTok views they get, who their influencers are. So they're paying attention just as much as we are.
Yeah, and I think in this category in particular, it's very important. I mean, sure, social media is important for across the board, all categories. Right. But in this one in particular, they seem to be extremely engaged at all ages. I mean, the millennials and the younger consumers, but also I'm 52, and all of my friends, like two friends I was just hanging out with this weekend in Florida, we listen to the same podcast. They hear something, it's like, oh, Casey Means was talking about, the metabolic health and mitochondria. They would send me the podcast or vice versa. And so, us older guys are doing that too, and it's influencing what I would look for.
Oh, yeah. It's just a different medium. It's like the same idea.
Yeah.
Whether it's TikTok or a podcast. Yeah.
Excellent. So now GLP-1 has been a big topic of conversation around here.
Yes.
But you had an interesting take about what people in your markets are doing. So I'll let you run with that.
Yeah. So they're coming in asking for things that are like the natural answer to those type of prescription drugs. So they're looking for things that won't give them the side effects that sometimes prescriptions might have.
So replace it instead of.
Right. Less of the add-ons to complement the prescription, but more like you said, like a replacement or like a natural way.
Is that because they're trying to avoid the side effects that they hear about? Or?
I think that's part of it, and another part of it is that some of our customer base is just trying to get rid of prescriptions altogether.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they're just trying to be healthier that way.
Okay, that's very understandable. So, what are some of these supplements that they're looking for?
Yeah. So one of their primary concerns is that glucose control. So a lot of people are asking for berberine by name. Okay. So the berberine category has definitely increased. We're seeing berberine at this show. Okay. Yeah. We're seeing berberine on the shelves already at the stores. One kind of a sleeper for us is sucontrol. It's also an A1C balancer. With clinical studies, so they can make claims, which is cool. And that one has been really, really doing well at both of our locations.
Okay, and what about shopping the other areas of the store outside the supplements? Are they complementing those with the change in diet? And
Yeah, you see people with coming in with recipes again that they've either seen
Okay,
online
yep.
or someone's recommended to them. Yeah, so they've always been interested in like some low carb, higher protein diets. But you'll see a lot more people coming in with more specific like stevia.
Okay.
Instead of stevia use, they're like, what else? What is the next stevia? What
Gotcha.
is it allulose? What is it?
Okay,
That kind of
I
thing.
hear monk fruit's a
Monk
big
fruit.
thing now. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Something that has that low glycemic, but doesn't have maybe the aftertaste that they don't love about some of the other sugar substitutes.
Gotcha. Are there any people? Because I see another movement towards single ingredient foods,
Yeah.
but some people are like focusing on that to the point of not even supplements. Like they wouldn't touch supplements. They're just trying to focus on diet. Or do you see more people tend to supplement?
Where I see that crossover some is people looking for single herbs.
Okay.
So instead of like applying the kitchen sink
Yeah.
methodology to something, they're looking for, I just want a single herb to see if that single herb is going to do the job.
Okay.
Whereas taking a blend of like 10 different herbs, what part is doing the job, what part could I potentially have reaction to.
Okay.
So I think they are interested in single things, and I see that on our side of the store
Okay.
on those single herbs or single minerals too.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything in particular jump out at you from here? You don't have to name the brand, but like any unique thing or wow thing that.
Yeah, I was really impressed with all the clean whey and clean protein options at this show, because that's a category that has been quote dirty for a long time. So that was very exciting to see a lot of brands showing clean whey at this show.
And I think that's kind of, I think more brands are trying to get as clean as possible, limited the number of ingredients,
Right.
and because people are asking for it, people are looking for. I think they're a little more cognizant now. Again, because of social media, because of the podcast, they're cognizant of what's going in or on their body, and they're trying to just eliminate as much garbage or less clean things as possible.
Exactly.
So understand all the ingredients.
Exactly.
So,
They can read them, they can understand them.
Yeah.
There are few of them.
awesome.
That's what they want.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we finally got together. I connected on LinkedIn, and I've seen his posts, and I was like, all right, we got to do something face to face. So thanks again for joining us.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.